Yes, thing is like in the previous session we talked about national registry is not there. It's all we are talking about US based things, but these things are relevant, but at the same time we all equally concerned that accidental deaths are due to medication errors when compared to any other reasons. So how are we going to keep hospitals safe and our patients safe? Before I go to the 10 steps or 10 things like what you can take back home as a message, like I would like to say one important thing. All of us going to report the prescription errors, and whereas administration errors are underreported. The reason is very simple. Thing is, it's basically people don't know what comes under administration errors, but at the same time the irony is both of them actually are at the same percentage. When we always we analyze our reports, we look at prescription errors actually are on the higher stage and administration errors on the lower thing. I would always say people that please go back and validate your data. I always tell our pharmacologists, please go back and look at how can we strengthen the administration error reporting mechanism. We always talk about incident reporting, motivating them with some awards and things like that, but that's really necessary. As we all know, in these 4 steps, a prescription error is the one thing almost 48% of the time it can be mitigated or intercepted, whereas administration error is the least. So what we should do for that? This is first and foremost important thing. We got doctors who have been trained both in prestigious institutions in the country as well as outside the country. They come, everyone will come with some sort of, I won't say baggage, but they come with some lot of ego things and things like that. And at the same time, who's going to build the cat? So whatever they're going to practice, is it up to date or it's evidence based? That is first thing each one of us sitting in this room we should talk about. And we need to involve them in brainstorming session about how can we move to the next level. The next thing what we would like to put across is how are we going to bring them, all of them as a team members and bring them to on the same plane. Mean to say is, yes, a consultant he's got so many qualifications, credentials and everything, but at the same time a nurse who's just maybe starting their career. On the other hand, the whole process, the patient is sitting there and on whom we are all experimenting. So what we have done is we need to, what we should move on is how are we going to bring patient, doctor, nurse and the pharmacist, all of them into one platform and eliminate the errors. Basically simple things the first step is starts with medication reconciliation. It's their patient is your partner, where he gives the details of all the medication what he is taking. It can be herbal medication as well as thing is, and then the doctor, the pharmacist and the nurse, each one of them should listen to the patient and try to get as much information as possible. Yes, we talk about yes, we are bringing all these things into line. Thing is all a patient, the family, the doctor, the pharmacist and the nurse, everyone onto one platform. We are bringing some change, particularly if I talk about Bangalore, in critical care unit, we earlier decided that not only why doctor, nurse, why can't we include a pharmacist in their daily regular rounds. Thing is, yes, one thing all of us going to admit the fact is it's very difficult to involve the patient reason because patients are sick. But at the same time, bringing them, all of them together, recently started, is it making an impact? Were there checks and balances are in place? What is the impact of that? Anything you would like to do, please measure it. Measurement is the first step, and then if you got a data, if you measure the data, and then you can look at it and how we can improve on that. So that's first and foremost thing important. Any stage, be it be taking the details from the patients, be it be from the communicating the orders to the doctor, when the nurse is receiving the orders from the doctor, every step follow these things.